What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Check Swing Podcast with myself. Of course, the brains and brawn of the situation, my man, Coach Miguel, who's down in
Baltimore, having big fun.
Indeed. And a lot of fun is going on. We got a lot to talk about on the Check Swing Podcast this week. But welcome back, y'all. Welcome. We're glad that you chose us to chill with for today or tonight or whatever the case may be. Phillies are kicking butt, so y'all ain't got to worry about them right now. Sixers making moves. We're going to talk about that in a minute. But before we get into all that, of course, I got to ask my folks how they been. Y'all know how I like to start the show. I like to ask my folks how they been. So, Miguel.
Sir.
How you been, man? Y'all got any more championships that y'all won? Y'all winning all of them.
We actually are on a break, sir. Not this weekend, but the following weekend, we'll be over in West Virginia playing. I can't remember the name of the tournaments. They all have like baseball names. But yeah, we'll be in West Virginia in about 2 weeks, and then next month we will be playing in Richmond, Virginia. I want to say late July, and then at the end of August we'll be up in Rehoboth Beach at I keep calling it Bash at the Beach, but that was an old WCW pay per view.
That's what I always want to call it too.
It's something at the beach. It's baseball at the beach or something. But it's actually it's a campus of like, it's got to be like 20 or 30 baseball fields. It's a beautiful complex. However, it's pretty dope. But, and for my players that are listening, mute me. But the fences are kind of short.
Oh Lord!
Exactly.
Oh geez, that could be a problem for you.
Exactly.
It could end up being a problem. You know what I mean? That field, that grouping of fields, they host high school games too. So there's a lot of age groups that play there. To me, you've been there before, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Is it me or are those the infields? Is that sand in the infield, or is it just me? I feel like it's sand out there. It's very soft.
So the last time we were there 2 summers ago with the Dirtbags team, and the first day that we were there, I just remember it being really dry, but not like sand dry, like it was very dusty. But the last game that we played, it actually rained in the morning, so it made the dirt real nice and soft and playable. So it was really good for us, but I can't recall it being like sandy.
Okay, all right, fair enough. Fair enough. Like I said, we got a lot to talk. Oh Lord, I put the wrong doggone thing.
Whoops.
The wrong doggone thing. It's too many. There's too many shows. Like we got to be able to keep this separated a better way. Coming up in just a little bit, we're going to talk about this big trade the Sixers just pulled off less than an hour ago, maybe an hour ago, with the Celtics, which I am completely baffled by from a Celtic standpoint, kind of almost a little bit, right? But I'm not a Celtics fan, so I can't be worried about them, but so much. Of course, what I'm talking about is the I don't even know. I'm gonna just here's what I'm gonna do, Miguel. I'm gonna just put this up and I'm gonna just start to because I really don't know how I want to go about it. So I'm gonna just do this. Boom. Sixers trade Paul George and 4 draft picks to the Boston Celtics for Jaylen Brown, and that's it. I think. I think that's it. Just Jaylen Brown. I'm a big Sixers fan, Miguel. I'm the Embiid apologist. I'm the Sixers. I'm a fanboy. I like this. I like to call people fanboys. I'm a fanboy for the Sixers. Right, they're my favorite team. It is what it is. I'm excited about this trade. I really am. You got rid of a max contract that was really hate to say this, Paul George, but you're in the league. You're old, right? You're younger than me, plenty younger than me, but in the league, you're old, and you traded him for another superstar player in Jaylen Brown, who has done a number on the Sixers many times, done a number on a lot of teams many a times. That relationship there in Boston has been a little shaky for a few years now. Um, but he's coming to the Sixers. Miguel,
Hmm.
I'm
Hmm.
kind of baffled by this from the Celtics standpoint, but I'm also baffled from it that you trade one of your star players to a in it's not even it's in conference, but it's in division rival.
Yeah. Yeah.
I I don't hey, all I'm gonna
You,
say is
you,
thanks, Boston. I guess. I hope.
what do you think is their motivation behind it on the
Boston's
Boston side?
motivation.
Yeah. What? Because
Oh,
all I'm reading about is how the Sixers fleeced them.
so no, I don't think this. No, I don't think the Sixers fleeced them. Um, I do feel like they probably got the better of the deal. I don't think it was a fleece job though. I think they got the better of the deal because they got a young. Well, they got a star in basically his prime, right? This is the type of thing that I was talking about. Like if they trade Embiid, there's no way they get equal compensation. I think in this situation, they got better compensation from a from a player perspective. Of course, the 4 draft picks going into it, that sweetens the pot for Boston by a lot. But if you ask me what Boston's motivation is, it kind of feels like, I mean, that relationship was reportedly getting shaky there, or has gotten shaky in Boston. But if you got your 4 draft picks, you're either preparing for the future and not really going for it now, or you're preparing to make other trades to make your team still compete. Like I can't see Boston right now not trying to compete when they still have a superstar in Jason Tatum. But but trading them to that's like that's like I don't know. It's like the Washington Commanders trading Jaden Daniels to the Cowboys. Like I'm trying to keep the Eagles out of it, But all the other players, all the other players in the building, that's like the Giants allowing Saquon Barkley to sign with the Eagles.
Right.
Like that. Ah. Um. Marlon put in the comment. What's up, Marlon? He says, "Does the trade move the needle in any way?" For me, yes. For me, it does, and I'm sure Miguel is not surprised by what I'm saying. It does for me because, and I'm um, Embiid out of the equation, even though he's still in the equation. Tyrese Maxey, VJ Edgecombe, and Jaylen Brown as your backcourt, that's pretty damn good, man. I mean, if VJ continues to improve off what his rookie season was, and Maxey continues to improve like he does every single year since he's been in the league, and Jaylen Brown comes in and be and is and is who, that's gonna be a tough one to stop, man.
Hmm.
That's gonna be a tough one to stop. And when in those times when Embiid is healthy, that's gonna be it could be fun to watch. But it also could be very dominant. Like the game is different, right? Miguel, we talk about the game being different. It's an outside in game. It's not an inside out game anymore. They got 3 players on the outside that can really make things happen on the outside. That's tough. Miguel, do you have any thoughts that you wanted to add in on this? I don't want to leave you out. I can get to be long winded sometimes.
No, no, no. When I first heard about the trade, I thought in my mind about like that thing, the how it's so unusual to have an interdivision trade, and then I started like me, I go to like the history part of it. Um, and I was looking at a couple of notable trades in some of the other sports, some of them involving Philly teams. One in particular would be, and I think people forgot, is that Eric Lindros from the Philadelphia Flyers was actually traded to the Rangers
I
after
did
he
forget about that.
after missing seasons due to injury, and I think there was an issue between his mother and father and the Flyers organization. Um, One of the most historical trades in the history of all of sports was Wayne Gretzky going from the Edmonton Oilers to the Los Angeles Kings. So they pretty much traded the greatest player in the world to, somebody in their same division. In basketball, you have Vince Carter going from Toronto to New Jersey. That trade happened in December of '04. He went to the Raptors for Alonzo Mourning, Aaron Williams, and Eric Williams, and first round draft picks in
Come back
'05.
to the mic for us. You were kind of.
Okay. Carter. So Carter went to the Raptors, or went from the Raptors to the Nets. I keep saying Raptors to the Nets for Alonzo Mourning, Aaron Williams, Eric Williams, and first round draft picks in '05 and '06. And the most popular Sixer of all time, arguably, Dr. J, went from the New York Nets to the 76ers because the Nets couldn't compete with the Knicks. And we know how that kind of turned out. In the in the NFL, we have McNabb going from Philadelphia to DC.
Hmm.
We all know how that kind of went. And I think that was another one of the first trades that I experienced growing up with the Phillies. When the Phillies and the Mets traded, Phillies traded Juan Samuel and got Lenny Dykstra and Roger McDowell. And I think Phillies were competitive for about a month. But we all know Lenny Dykstra, and other than the fact that he's a horrible human being, helped us get to the '93 World Series. So we kind of won that trade.
All right. Well, we have to see what happens with this one. Hopefully, this one is like a really good one for Philadelphia. Seems like some of the other ones were kind of, I don't know. Couple comments that came in. Marlon said they had to trade Brown after singling him in trade discussions with Milwaukee.
Hmm.
I think. Well, he meant to say dangling him in trade discussions. Darryl said, "I like the trade. Do we have to wait and see what the two first round picks are going to do?"
Oh, is it like, are there like conditional picks?
I don't think they are. I think one. I think one of the picks. I think one of the picks might be conditional. Um, but I'm not sure. But according to Sham Sharania, just in the information he put out there on ESPN, he said two first round picks and two second round picks. So he didn't necessarily indicate. I think there was talk about one of them being conditional, um, but I think they just it could just be straight up, straight up. Marlon says, "When's the press conference?" I don't know. Maybe tomorrow. Could be
All
tomorrow.
right.
What's today? Today's Wednesday. They could do it tomorrow, Friday, because they'll bring him in with the draft pick that they selected. Um, or did they already bring him
All
in?
right. All right. So I just looked up the trade. So it's a 2028 first rounder that could convert to a pick swap, more favorable to Boston. A 2031 unprotected first round, and a pair of second round picks in 28 and 30.
This you know what this feel? I just got a little bit of a worry, Miguel, just a little bit, and I'm gonna tell you why. And not from the Sixers standpoint, but as a Sixers fan, This is starting to feel a little eerily familiar for a trade that the Celtics made some years ago. Um, that built their organization back up when they decided they were going to trade. I want to say it was Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to the Brooklyn Nets, and got like a whole bunch of draft compensation and all that. They got a whole, and it really built up their. Um, I think one of those picks was actually Jaylen Brown. Other one of those picks they got was actually Jason Tatum. So like they really built up their team through draft picks and young players. Danny Ainge was the GM for the Celtics at the time. Now it is the name is escaping me, but he was the coach of the Celtics while Danny Ainge was the GM, uh, coach that came from Butler University. I'm forgetting his name, but it'll come to me during the show or somebody put in the chat. Appreciate y'all. Um, why did I start saying all that? I got lost in my script there. Well,
Well,
if that's the case, here's I'll just put in some more comments that we got coming in. Marlon says this team still is going to go as far as Embiid takes them. I I'm, I don't I know what you're saying, Marlon. I don't know if I subscribe to that. Just like I was saying last week or maybe a couple weeks ago, this team has to move forward from the Embiid philosophy, right? They're stuck with him. So they have to, do some things with him and maybe around him. But this team now needs to build off your young backcourt MB Maxi and Edgecombe and VJ Edgecombe. Um, do these three help out what MB does? Absolutely. Does attention that MB could potentially get and he normally gets help out the other? Absolutely. But I feel like those three are a strong three-person pairing. I don't know what a three pair would be. A strong triplet. I don't know. That can probably get you into the playoffs. Let's say Embiid doesn't play a game. I think those three can get you in the playoffs with some solid front court play. We do need some solid front court play. And they got some other signings. We'll talk about that in just a minute. Champion Maker says Marlon is right, and that means Boston doesn't think Embiid is the one. No, I mean I don't see the Sixers getting off that contract. They got off Paul George because he's probably a little more healthier than Embiid,
right.
right? Probably a little more healthier than Embiid, and he's a wing player, so he's a little bit more valuable, a little bit more a little bit more variable to him. Um, I think I said on here. I think Miguel said they would be able to move off the Paul George contract before they would be able to move off Embiid, and um, and they did. I just did not expect them to get what they got for him. Ardot says the press conference won't be until next week. NBA trades can't be finalized. Oh, okay, so we're not even okay. Gotcha. NBA trades can't be finalized until 12:01 p.m. on July 6th.
So is this the NBA's illegal tampering period or
I
legalized
guess you could
tampering
say
period?
that. Yeah, it's probably trio. Thank you, trio. That's what I'm talking about. That was what I'm trying to get trio. Um, yeah. I guess you could say that. It's the legal tampering period. So that really means that the trade could not still not happen because it's not official till next week,
Well,
till Monday.
and I go back to my original thing. Like, is this did Boston mess this up? And one of the biggest perspectives I just read. It says, here's what it looks like from the public perspective. Boston and general manager Brad Stevens put Brown on the table to try and land Giannis. That's a defensive move, but it didn't work out. They didn't do what it took to get the deal across the finish line. But by putting him on the table, the toothpaste was out of the tube. The relationship between Brown and the franchise was too far gone to salvage after the news he was offered for Giannis went public. As a result, Boston had to quote unquote settle for what is undeniably a terrible package.
Mm.
And I know draft picks are, a little different in the NBA. Like, after the first what 5 or 6 picks, it's pretty much a crapshoot. Um, but
Yeah, especially these days. Yeah,
yeah,
maybe after the first three, it seems like these days is a crapshoot. Not like the year, not like the 1996 draft where like your first 13 picks was like can't miss.
right.
Um. Oh, let me put this in here too. Boston also picked up Mitchell Robinson from the Knicks, he was the backup center for the New York Knicks. They were doing Shack a Hack too, Hack a Shack too. Um, but he's an NBA champion now, his price is going up. Yesterday's price is not today's price. Um, Marlin said, as it's instituted, Embiid is the difference that can make them contender, but only playing 30 games won't get it.
I've
And
been, I've been saying that for the last
absolutely
five
right.
years.
You're absolutely right. Playing 30 games ain't going to get it. I completely agree with what you just said. I completely agree. Completely agree. Um, Arda says, how about the Phillies being up 8-4 right now? And back is oh my god, this dude. Nah, I just look up and he beans somebody. Backus is about to screw the pooch. I see. Yep, he just walked. He just beamed somebody and walked in a run. I'm a couple minutes behind live, so
Hey. So with the Phillies are 2.5 back right now with the Braves. Best team in
let's get into
baseball.
that. Let's get
Best.
into that.
Yeah.
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you
But
cook.
I
Go
was
ahead.
going to add that best team in baseball since Don Mattingly has taken over. So um, we're kind of hitting on all the cylinders. We still missed the trade on Aaron Nola. And I felt like last week you were trying to, at least with Nola, trying to make it like he was getting better or something. I wasn't sure if that's what you were trying to do last week with Aaron
No, you
Nola,
talking
but
about with that stat I brought up?
yeah,
I just thought it was an interesting stat.
right.
It,
Because he
it was
can't.
like I said last week. It was I would have never guessed it. I would have been more along the lines of what you guessed.
Yeah, but even so, he still can't pitch past after the fifth inning. He's toast. After the fourth inning, he's toast. And I think he lasted what for the 3 or 4 innings the other day. Now,
Yesterday, yesterday, 2 days ago.
yeah, and I
Yeah, he.
forget.
So here's something that came up in discussion that I noticed maybe about a month ago. Okay. And I actually meant to bring it up on the show, but I forget a lot of things on the show, even when it's right in front of my face. Um, Watching Aaron Nola pitch like a long time, and when he was actually, decent, right? A lot of what he was getting called strikes that were off the plate, right? They would start on and they would break off the plate, start on, break off the plate, and he would get guys swinging, chasing, and stuff like that. That was kind of his thing. He wasn't a contact pitcher. He wasn't a blow it by you pitcher. He was like a chase guy. He was going to get you to chase something, swing at some junk, sneak a fastball by you, kind of like Jamie Moyer, right? I think that with the ABS, he's cooked. He is cooked because the calls that he used to get, he's not going to get anymore. With umpires being scrutinized the way they've been scrutinized, he's not going to get those calls off the plate. It's not going to happen. And he doesn't have the stuff to just blow by you. I think Aaron Nola, unless he can adjust his game to the ABS era, because we're in it, we're here, it's here. He is cooked. He can forget it. He's done. I know you agree because you've been saying it for the last 5 years. He is cooked. You can forget it, man.
Let me show
Marlon told me
you.
that Packers hit two batters in a row. Two of them in a row.
And not to pile on, but if you could show this screen share. Right now, Nola is on the wrong side of history. You see it?
Here you
So
go.
Nola right now is on the wrong side of history through 13 starts, and it's sad because he's on this list twice. um, Last year he had a 6.01 ERA. Now he's at a 6.04. Um, Three players tied. I remember Adam Morgan. He was a lefty. Uh, Jerome Williams. He was great for about 3.5 innings. Um, Ryan Madsen is kind of tricky because you remember he came up as a starter, but he found his niche as a reliever. So he wound up being like a middle
He
reliever,
was the
pseudo
setup guy
setup guy, right?
he was the setup guy for Brad
For
Lidge.
Lid, right? And then Nick Pivetta, who wound up being traded to Boston. So, but yeah, he's definitely on the wrong side of history. Um, and uh, it's messed up because we all saw this. I saw this, and I've been itching about this for the last like 4.5 years, and then we wound up resigning him and extending him. And I'm like,
You've been saying it. You've been saying it's documented here. You've been saying it. You've been saying it. Real quick, Marlon said, I feel the Phillies are a bullpen. I almost feel the Phillies are a bullpen arm and a starting pitcher away from competing in the playoffs. Give me a rotation of Sanchez, Wheeler, Scooble,
Scoople, Sumo.
and in the playoffs, and we have a chance.
Yeah, Detroit ain't Detroit. If I'm Detroit, I'm not giving. I'm not doing it. I'm not giving anything up for Scoople.
No, I'm not giving up Scooble, but here's what I would try to do. I would get a bullpen arm for sure. I would go after. I would go after. I'm gonna just put it to you like this. I would go after Aroldis Chapman. I would go after Aroldis
Really?
Chapman. Yeah, Aroldis Chapman, back of the bullpen guy. You know, because I feel like you. I feel like I'm not really. I'm not all that confident. I'm not there with Alvarado right now. When he's in the game, I'm nervous. Last two appearances he did well, but when he's in the game, I get a little nervous. Not gonna lie. Kind of like I was like maybe a couple years ago, or maybe it was the year that they went to the World Series. Whatever year it was, he got sent down and then came back up. Whatever year that was, I was nervous with him. Then when he came back up, it was like he got all the stuff together and he was dominant. But we haven't seen that Alvarado. Well, we haven't seen that Alvarado since the suspension. I'll put it like that. Haven't seen that Alvarado since the suspension. So I would go after. I would try to get an Aroldis Chapman, a blow by you guy, um, and try to make something work. I personally, Miguel, I think I'm okay with Wheeler, Sanchez, and
Sorry,
help
Luzardo.
me, Luzardo. Thank you, Wheeler, Sanchez, Luzardo as your starting three in the playoffs. I think I'm okay with that. I mean, Luzardo is great sometimes and not so great others, but we're talking about the number three guy. Like he's not supposed to be dominant. He's supposed to get you. He's supposed to be an innings eater for you and get you through some games. Get you to the bullpen where the bullpen could do their thing. You put in Raldis Chapman, and then maybe you put in what's my man's name?
Duran.
Duran. Thank you, Duran. Just me. Maybe I'm playing video games. I don't know, but that's just how I see it. That's how I see it. We got an All Star. Excuse me, All Star game. I'm sorry. Did you have an opinion on anything I just said? I'm sorry. I just kind of jumped the gun on that.
No, no, no. I do agree with Marlon. I think we're about a starter and reliever away, but I can't think like all the starters that I would want are on competitive teams. So it's like it's not realistic to think that we can just pluck up a Scooble
And
or
with the extra playoff spot, with all the wild card spots, teams are in contention longer. You know, they don't know until well after the trade deadline sometimes that they're not in contention anymore.
right.
Because I'm not. They move the trade deadline up a few
They
years
they
back.
moved it up a few days, but they made it so that way they used to have You can make a trade up until July 31st, and then the whole month of August you can pick up waiver wire players. So waiver wire player back in the day, if you wanted, I mean, it was kind of like a gentleman's agreement. So if I wanted to trade my player to like the Mets, let's say, he would have to go through waivers first, meaning every team had their shot to pick him,
Right.
and then you can make the trade. But you had to go through the waiver process first.
Mm.
They eliminated that altogether. So the trade deadline is once it's done, it's done. You can't do anything else.
No waiver trades anymore.
None anymore.
Marlon says, I'm nervous. I'm nervous with their bullpen. Period. The pen has a 5 ERA. Yeah, they've been shaky.
Yeah, it's so frustrating. This team's so frustrating because it's like they remind me of the Eagles prior to the Super Bowl. Like in the '90s, when I first started watching the Eagles, we had the greatest defense this side of heaven. But we had Brad Gable as our starting quarterback, or Jim McMahon as our starting quarterback. We Heath Sherman in the backfield, and we had the worst offensive line in football. Then we kind of turn it around, and we finally have the offense, but then the defense kind of lacks a little bit. So it's like that was always the frustrating thing about the Eagles in the '90s and the early 2000s. And finally, we finally started to put it together. So but that's the Phillies right now. It's like we either have a dominant offense with no pitching or vice versa, and it's like we can't get it together at the same time. So
Um, yeah, yeah, really. Um, moving on to the All Star game, right, Miguel? And I'm looking at and I want you to help me out because maybe there's something that I don't know, maybe something I never knew. Are there only from each position, not pitcher, each position not being a pitcher? Are there only two players that are voted in at each position, or at least infield positions?
I believe so. I know the voting kind of changed a little bit, but no, it's for
Or
you
is
would
the
vote
vote
for
just for starters?
the voting is for starters, and I think they only added the DH maybe within the last like 10 years.
Well,
Um,
I'm looking at the National League, right? Games in Philadelphia. We may not see Bryce Harper in this game. Definitely not
good,
going to start.
good.
First baseman leading the way right now is Freddie Freeman, and the second in vote getting right now is Matt Olson. Now we all know, excuse me, we all know that baseball in the past has been that sport that's like, well, this is his city. We're going to let him. It's been that in the past. I'm not sure if it's still that type of game these days. Um, but we shall see. Second base. Second base has held true from the last leak. I call it the leak. It's just fun to call it a leak. Ozzy Albies is still leading the way, and Bryson Stott surprisingly is still right behind him. So we'll probably be seeing Bryson Stott in the All Star game. Your shortstop, which I'm kind of surprised, kind of not. C.J. Abrams is leading the way in front of Mookie Betts. Um, so check this out. Abrams is could be the first shortstop in Expos/Nationals history to start an All Star game. Interesting fact right there. Um, Third base. This is held true as well. Max Muncy leading the way. Alec Bohm still right there in second. So we'll probably see Alec Bohm playing. Your outfield, Brandon Marsh is leading the way there with your outfielders in the National League. Followed by Juan Soto, Michael Harris the second or junior, however you want to say it. Is it Pages? Andy
Yes,
Pages.
Paez. Yes,
Say it again.
yes, Andy Paez.
Pages. Okay. I wanted to say Pages, but I was like,
I
let's
know.
stop.
I know. That's
I stopped. Ronald Acuna Jr. and Teoscar Hernandez. And your catchers, you got Drake Baldwin and Will Smith. And who are our DHs? Oh, um, Shohei and Kyle Schwarber.
All right, so the way the voting is working, the fan voting, it's actually in two phases. So phase one is done. That was the first phase, June 3rd to the 25th, where the top overall vote getters in each league automatically secures a starting spot, and then the top two at each position and the top six outfielders advance. So phase two, which started on the 29th and ends tomorrow, it resets the vote totals and fans choose from the phase one finalists to determine the remaining starters.
Yes.
And then the remaining 23 players for each league's roster are filled via player ballots and selections from the commissioner's office.
So we'll have to see how that turns out. I'm guessing Bryce Harper's going to be in the game.
I mean, it would make sense to have him and Schwarber at least.
Mm. I mean,
I'm
Stott's
hoping.
going to be there, Bohm's going to be there, and
Sanchez
Marsh is going to be
and Sanchez should
there.
be the starter, or I mean, he could be the starter. He should be the starter.
Could be the starter. Should be only because it's in Philadelphia. But outside of that, I'm starting my man from Milwaukee. Just
Okay,
just me personally.
gotcha.
So yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I wanna touch on something real quick. That was I spoke on. Oh, actually, no. Before we do that, before I talk about that, I gotta say Happy Bobby Bonilla Day to everyone.
Dun, dun, dun.
Happy Bob. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. And you see how I tried to hide that little stutter I just did? Try to play it off.
Right, right, right. Beautiful.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. If you don't know, Miguel, tell everybody, explain what Bobby Bonilla Day is. I know it's one of your favorite days of the year.
Listen up, Mets fans. If you're you know what's really sad, Bobby Bonilla is 63 years old. It's like, okay, so Bobby Bonilla last played with the Mets in 1999.
Mm-hmm.
That's how many
Why
years
is
ago?
that so significant, Miguel?
Because in the 2000, the Mets decided, you know what? Instead of paying him $5.9 million,
Mm-hmm.
they decided to buy it out. So instead of paying him outright, they agreed
5.9.
the 5.9 million. They decided that it would be smarter
Okay.
to defer the payment.
Okay. So by that, let me just hold on. This is for the people in the back. Okay, the people that's in the back of the room writing notes to the girl and stuff like that. What you're saying is, just so I can keep the class, abreast of what's going on. They owed him $5.9 million, and instead of paying him the $5.9 million on said day, said year, whatever the case may be, they said, look, we're going to do the smart thing, and we're going to pay you this 5.9 over some time, right? Is that is
Not what they deferred it, so they didn't give it to him. They said, can you wait until
okay?
we use that money to try to build a competitive team?" Which, of course, they failed miserably at. And they started the payment not in 2000, not in 2001, but 2011.
So they defer. So he last played for the New York Mets, the New York Metropolitans, 1999, but didn't receive any money from them then. He didn't receive any money from them until 2011.
Mm-hmm.
Was he still playing for the Mets in 2011?
Nope. His last game was
Who was
actually
he playing for in 2011, Miguel?
no one.
Like, no, he wasn't playing baseball in the major leagues, huh?
He retired in 2001
From the Mets?
from baseball.
Was his last team the Mets?
I believe it's either the Mets or the Orioles. I have to look, but
I'll help you out. You already put it in the notes. It's the Orioles. He last played for the Orioles.
mhm,
So okay. So let's recap. 1999, they said we're gonna pay you $5.9 million, but I'm gonna pay you now. We're gonna pay you later, so we can use that money to bring in some guys to play around you, so we can win this championship. Which never that didn't work out for that era. They started paying them in 2011, so they had 12 years before they started paying them. So Miguel, let me ask you this, because $5.9 million starting in 2011, and here it is 2016, and we're celebrating Bobby Bonilla Day because it's the day that the Mets pay him, right? He
correct.
gets his deferred payment, right?
Hmm.
July 1st of every year. But I mean,
Hmm.
surely, Miguel, surely, Miguel. He, I mean, what? It's 2026,
Correct.
so we're looking at 15 years.
Correct.
My math is correct. So $5.9 million should have been paid up within 15 years, right?
But there's more. You're
There can't
missing
be
one.
more. What are we? What?
There's two other things more actually. The Mets decided and agreed that from 2011 to 2035, he will also get an 8% interest rate on that 5.9 million. Now, this is where Bobby Bonilla becomes absolutely brilliant because he's like, if I can fleece the Mets, why can't I fleece the Orioles? So he
Tell me more.
just he decided that, or they all decided under a separate deferred agreement. Hey, Orioles, in the interest of saving you guys, financial strain or trying to build a competitive team, how about you defer my final contract and just pay me $500,000 annually from 2004 and until 2028.
2028.
Yes. So once the final check is cut, he would have collected from a $5.9 million base salary in 2000. He will have collected over $30 million.
$30 million from 5.9. Let's call it 6.4. Let's
Touche.
call it 6.4. We took on the two teams. He's made $30 million, and this was without playing a pitch. He's been making this money from his couch, from the poolside, from the little league team he might have coached, from the bar, from the barbecue grill, from the island, whatever the case may be. The Mets are still paying him.
And I believe it comes out to like something or like 1.9 or 1.8 something $1 million a year.
Happy Bobby Bonilla Day, everybody. I can only dream of having that type of situation happen to me.
I always wanted to know, like, did he conjure this up himself? Did he like had a financial advisor? Like, I always wanted to know,
All
like,
I'm going to just believe is that he had an amazing agent. That's all I'm going to believe. He may have negotiated himself. Whoever his agent was, kudos. It could have been him. Kudos to the agent. If you're the agent, Bobby, kudos to you. Kudos to whoever negotiated that deal. Now, I wasn't Bertie Madoff involved in this somehow, some way?
Uh,
Yes, the owner. Okay, the owner of the Mets was taking
yes.
some of that deferred money, and this is like part of the story too. Like when real life gets so if anybody remembers the Bernie Madoff like scam thing, what was it called? Enron? Was it Enron? Or am I
No,
thinking
it
of two
was no.
different
You
things?
think two different things. It was the not the pyramid scheme. It was the
It was some type of pyramid scheme, I think. Well, either way, Bernie Madoff, the Mets owner at the time, took that like that money and invested it into whatever Bernie Madoff was in. And if you know the story, Bernie
Ponzi.
Madoff Ponzi scheme, which is basically the same. Bernie Madoff went to jail because it was all a bunch of BS and nobody got their money back. And the rest is history on that. I'll just leave it at that. Welcome to our TED Talk. We still got more. We still got more. Quite a bit more. A couple weeks. Let me back up from you guys. I don't know y'all. A couple weeks ago, I had a gripe on this show, and it was with the World Cup and how they changed the game of soccer for this World Cup in North America. And what I was referring to were the hydration breaks. How like 26 minutes, 66 minutes, and whatever it is. I think it's both of those. They take a a break from the soccer game, the football game, and they have a hydration break. Now, in all my years of watching soccer and working soccer games and seeing soccer at different levels, there are no timeouts. There are no commercial breaks. There are no like strategy sessions, none of that. And now in the World Cup, they've implemented hydration breaks. Now, my stance has softened a little bit since my initial gripe a couple weeks ago because like tomorrow in Philly is going to feel like 110 degrees, and if you got to be out there running around on the field in 110-degree weather, God bless you. God bless you. But it's the sport. I'm still having gripes about that. I'm just having gripes about it. You changed the whole structure of the sport in a sense. That's my gripe. Miguel, what do you say? What have you?
So one of the coaches, or some coaches, believe that the breaks do make sense when the temperatures are extreme, but when it's normal weather, it's like you know it does interrupt kind of the ebb and flow of the game. Um,
Absolutely.
and
But if you do it for one, you got to do it for them all.
right, and there's also the underlining feeling that that American soccer is going to be pushed to like quarters instead of halves, for the simple purpose of advertising. So they're kind of seeing it as America's way of trying to push an extra commercial here and there, and push some extra advertisements, selling something. Um, Although the hydration breaks do make sense, especially since one of the doctor's reports, I think it said that the body could get up to like 105 degrees internally, which is very dangerous to the brain and oxygen or lack of oxygen. So it does make sense, but it's like soccer has been around for, I don't know, a couple thousand years.
If
You
that,
know what I mean? So soccer is a
not
sport that
more.
used to that is played in extreme weather. That's why you have these athletes playing in this extreme, sport. So I get that you're trying to, you're being more conscious of these things. You're being safe, but I would say in the extreme situations, it makes sense.
Hmm.
But I don't know how you do that without literally interrupting the flow of the game and not making it fair for everybody across the board. So
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. Like, I don't know how. I don't know. I don't. I'm not able to provide a resolution, but I am able to provide a gripe.
well, I think I think what they're going to try to do, at least on the American side of soccer, they're going to institute quarters. You know,
I, and here we go. Some people ain't gonna like it, but here we go with America sticking their nose in something, trying to change it to make it American.
America,
Happy 250th birthday, America.
America, America.
Oh my goodness. So you're so we just gonna go. I'm trying not to go where I want to go because it's not that type of show.
Go where you want to go.
And I knew
Oh,
you were going to say that. I knew
because
you were going to say that. I knew. I almost didn't say what I wanted to say because I knew you were going to say that and edge me on. America always trying to take something over, man, and make it be like America wants it to be. Proud to be an American. Something, 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 something. I don't know the words of
hey,
that song.
that's a great song for fireworks displays.
Yeah, sure, I guess.
Feel
Yeah, I
real
guess.
patriotic in those
I don't know the
songs.
words though. Champion Maker says hydration breaks are the equivalent to the NFL's CTE rules. I can see why you say that. I can see why you
Yeah,
say that. They're kind of coming in after trying to put a band-aid on something, kind of in a sense, trying to act like they care about something. There you go. That's what I'm trying to say. FIFA's coming in trying to act like they care about something with the players, like the NFL tries to act like they care about the players' health.
like
Yes,
the NFL's Rooney Rule. Like they act like they care about hiring people of color.
they put on the show like they act like they care about this and they act like they care about that, but we all know what they actually care about, and they act like they care about this too, is the bottom line. And you can see it in everything they do. I always say, like they say on TV, on the TV police shows, follow the money. That's where you care about everything. See what they care about. You'll see everything that they care about when you follow the money. Now I'm a target. Um, Speaking of the World Cup, which has been a fun tournament to watch. If you haven't had a chance to watch some of these games, check them out, man. They're fun to watch. They're in the knockout rounds. You already had Germany get kicked out, and they were one of the favorites. Not kicked out, but eliminated, and they were one of the favorites. So, and they got beat by a team that the United States beat. How about that? There's reason to pay attention. I know the United States played tonight, or they're playing right now. Um, we can get you an update on that later. But with all the stuff in the World Cup, there's a lot of people there, a lot of different countries and cities and cultures and all that. Japan is cleaning up, literally, Miguel. Japan is cleaning up. What is this about?
So, believe it or not, this is actually a cultural thing that starts when they are little. So it's kind of a civic practice that first gained global attention during Japan's inaugural tournament appearance back in the '98 World Cup.
Hmm.
So fans have continued this cleanup ritual across a whole bunch of tournaments. This is from 2022. Um, so Japanese children are taught from an early age to clean their own classrooms, their own hallways, their own school grounds, transforming tidiness into like a deeply ingrained habit. So at the end of these games, they literally clean up their row, they clean up their trash, and I think the one image that you saw of the locker room was from 2018, where they literally will leave the room spotless and actually leave a thank you note to whoever comes in and has to finish the room, um, in a sign of cultural respect for being allowed to play in such games.
Very interesting. Very interesting. Um, 'Cause I have left some stadiums, and man, people leave them stadiums a mess. Movie theaters too, but but people leave them stadiums a mess. I mean, because I want to say that we're kind of taught to just leave it there under under.
Somebody else will get it, right? Somebody else is paid to get it.
Like you just leave it under because you're ready to carry all that. Just leave it under the seat. Somebody else can get it.
Oh, oh, like at the movie theater,
Mm-hmm.
you leave
Yeah.
your popcorn butter in the seat.
You said what?
Like, you leave the buttered popcorn underneath the seat.
I leave wherever I guess I don't get popcorn anymore. Like I might get a little bit, like the wife might get it, and I might get, take a couple. But I don't, because it get all stuck in your teeth. Oh man, I hate that.
Yeah, I don't. I don't
Popcorn,
actually like. I don't care for popcorn.
shout out to Japan, man, and that culture, man. I'm always interested in other cultures just to see how they carry different things. One thing I'm interested in is this fan base from Scotland. Okay, if you haven't heard about this fan base, and I hope I'm saying the right thing here, they have been walking to their team's games. And like when I say walking, I don't mean like walking from the parking lot to the stadium. I mean like they walked from Scotland, got on a boat, guy came over here, got to wherever it was that they had to get to, got to Boston, walked to wherever they were going in Boston. And then I think the team was like playing in. I, I could be wrong, but help me out, y'all. I think the team would end up like having to play in Miami, and then they walked to like Miami from like Boston, something crazy like that. Let me tell you something. We think NFL fan bases are insane. It has nothing on the soccer fan base, the world soccer fan base. But one interesting thing from the Scotland fan base, Miguel, they drank all the beer in Boston?
They drank Boston dry. It got so bad that the bars had to call for emergency orders, imports um, of Sam Adams, because all the tap rooms they just ran it dry. Pubs reported that sales easily tripled or quadrupled standard holiday weekend figures, even quadrupled St. Patrick's Day.
Mm.
With some venues completely depleting their stocks and relying only on light backups. The funny thing is that they sold literally like they still have like an influx of like Bud Light, like all the American beers are like we don't drink that crap. We need our Sam Adams and our Guinness and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
personally I don't like beer because it tastes like how your mouth tastes after you throw up. That's what beer tastes like to me. Like post vomit.
I'm sorry to hear that, bro.
It tastes like bad breath.
I really enjoy a nice cold beer. I have one over here that's probably warm now that I was drinking on prior to the show. I don't know, am I allowed to say that? I just did. But it's like a little bit left, and I'm sure it's warm now. Probably tastes like what you just did, but when it's cold and you're on vacation or at the beach or fishing or at the game or at the movies or anywhere, nice
On your
cold
break
beer
at work.
always on time. I'm gonna just
Well,
put it to you like that.
So I'll give credit where credit's due. They can drink. That's probably why they were able to walk from Boston to Miami.
Do you have any
Um,
video of them walking by chance?
I don't, but the video that I do want to show is actually one of the things that I think is funny about soccer fans is that they literally have, in my opinion, the greatest chants at sporting events.
Mm-hmm.
And these were the two funniest ones that I saw or that I heard and saw. So that's what the video shows.
Wow. Wow. Do I want to ask what that second one was?
The last one said, "We're getting deported. We're getting deported."
Yo, soccer fans don't give a good god darn, okay?
Yo, and you remember the graphic I showed you a couple weeks ago about the parking being $600 and the
Yes.
cheapest ticket. Parking was sold out, and tickets were sold out for was it the team from Portugal or Brazil? No, it wasn't Portugal or Brazil. I can't remember. Um, but I do remember that the stadium, which can hold probably about 75, 80,000 for soccer, they also had 20,000 at the art museum. And then this weekend, whoever's playing on Saturday, you got the Made in America festival that's going on. So you're already going to have like 50, 60,000 people down at the Parkway. And
Mhm.
then you have the soccer matches, which is going to be both at the art museum, at the sports complex. So Philly's going to be an absolute mess. And I'm constantly getting pinged about road closures, ramp closures. So if you're not in Philly already, don't go.
Listen, I'm staying my behind out of Philly on Saturday. I'm gonna tell you right now, there's gonna be so much going on. However, the following week I will probably go down there for the fan fest. I'm gonna put it. I gotta.
You'll
I didn't
probably have
see that in
less.
the batting cages, Miguel. I didn't see that in the whole in the thing, but it's got to be batting cages there with the video. I got to. I got to. I need. I have to
You're
get my
seeking
get back.
revenge.
I think I faced the Dale Noma, if I'm not mistaken. Either Dale Noma or Randy Johnson. I faced. I think it was a Dale Noma though. Champion Maker says beer tastes like wet wheat bread.
Yes. Yes.
That's
Thank you.
he also says Aussies are Diddy boys.
Jesus.
Not sure where to go with that, but I'm
I'm not touching that with a 10. I'm not touching that with a 10-foot bottle of baby oil.
Brian says as soon as the World Cup is gone, so will all these American fans. You know, it's funny he said that because I remember I think when the World Cup was in South Africa, I want to say. Oh, you all right over there?
Hmm.
When the World Cup was in South Africa, I can remember people, and this was at a time when Facebook was not on the whole algorithm thing, so you were going to kind of well, you got your Casper the Friendly Ghost look over there.
I look white all of a sudden.
Facebook was not on the whole algorithm thing, so you would see everybody's post when they actually posted it instead of like seeing what they think you want to see, which
Right.
I still think was the bad idea, but maybe good for them. Anyway, and people were getting mad at other people because they were like rooting for the USA because the US was having a little bit of success, and they got to like certain round. I think they got to the round of 16, maybe or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Um, and people were like, "Yo, you almost never said nothing about soccer before this, blah blah blah, and this that and the third." I'm like, "Yo, man, let people enjoy themselves. Let them enjoy themselves. They're into, nobody ever says that about in the Olympics. Like you ain't never said nothing about track and field before the Olympics started. Of course, because it ain't on. You
Right. Right.
know what I mean? It ain't on. But I'm rooting for the United States just because, kind of by default. But I did put Miguel. I did put $1 on uh, uh, Cape Verde, Cabo Verde. I did put $1 on them to win the entire tournament,
You still made
which
a bet on this tournament?
I just put $1 because it was a long shot. So I said if a long shot wins, it works out for me. If they don't, I lost a buck. I would probably lose the buck buying something stupid anyway, like candy or something. I don't know. You know me. I like candy, gummy bears, gummy worms, or something. Just saying. Real quick notes. Real quick. Eagles owner Jeffrey Lurie will be the recipient of the Stuart Scott ENSPIRE Award for Autism Research and Awareness. So congratulations to him. Um, we already mentioned that the Sixers traded Paul George for Jaylen Brown at the top of the show. If you didn't catch that section of the show, make sure you go back and check us out to see that again. But Paul George was traded to the Celtics for Jaylen Brown. And the Sixers also traded 4 draft picks in that deal. Another signing that they made, I think overnight, I think it was yesterday, or they will be signing, whatever the case may be. Dean Wade, forward from the Cavaliers, will be joining the Sixers. They also they will be signing a backup center as well. The name escapes me right now, and I closed my page. I don't have it, but it's not somebody that's really going to turn the page from. So hopefully he does well. Hopefully he gets a. Hopefully he doesn't get a lot of playing time, but if he gets a lot of playing time, which is highly likely, hopefully he does well in those moments. LeBron James has told the Lakers that they can move on without him. That's funny. Like, not like, well, I just said it. Like, it just kind of got funny to him. He told them that they can move on without him. Like, that just the way that sounds. Maybe that's not how it went down the way I said it, but he has informed them that, yeah, y'all go ahead and move on without me. Well, LeBron, what if they already planned on it?
Right.
Like, okay, all right. But 3 teams that are really being mentioned here are the Warriors, Cavaliers, and the Heat.
So no chance he becomes a Sixer.
Nah, no chance. No
No
chance.
chance.
I,
No
I mean,
chance.
I'm hoping like the Sixers are not really going after him. The first time I was like, yeah, go after him. But this time I'm like, man, for what? Why? There's no point in my like you might be able to trade Embiid for him right now. You know what I mean? Like I don't know, but I don't see the point. Um, if I'm LeBron's like people, which I'm not, I say of the 3 teams here that are like on the radar for him, supposedly, I'm saying go back to Cleveland.
Close it
Because you
out
go to the
there.
Heat right now, you're just going to play with Giannis to try to dominate. If you go to the Warriors, you're going to play with Steph and try to dominate. If you go to Cleveland, you're going back home. You're trying to win one for your hometown again, your almost hometown again. That's the best story for LeBron. However, we know LeBron's going to do what's best for LeBron, and it may not be Cleveland. People don't want to go to Cleveland. I've never been there, so I don't desire to. I'm just saying.
At least
Kawhi
it's
Leonard.
not Detroit.
I've never been to Detroit either, but I heard some parts of it are pretty nice.
I actually did hear that Detroit is up and coming.
That's one city I do want to go to one day because that's just I want to see the Joe Louis fist. Kind of want to see that. Oh, they moved the Joe Frazier statue too, from the stadium over
Uh,
to now.
to the art museum, yeah, where it belongs.
Kawhi Leonard is going back to Toronto where he won a championship. He's being traded back to Toronto. Um, from the Clippers, who will receive Brandon Ingram and Grady Dick and 2 first-round picks, a first-round pick swap, and a second-round pick. And Toronto gets Kawhi Leonard. So in this situation, you got 2 players, two picks. You get a pick swap, and then a third pick, and then they get Kawhi. Okay, good for them. Now, Miguel, you have an
Sir,
interview. Excuse me, not an interview. I'm tripping. You have a video.
what time?
What
All right.
what what's going on in this video that you could tell us without spoiling?
Um, this re- this first of all, you're gonna love it. You're probably gonna crack up for obvious reasons, and because there's only specific videos that you absolutely love. So this is for you. And I would just simply label it.
I'm scared.
Sometimes we just have one of those days.
All right, here we go. Like to hear it? Here you go. that was great. That was great.
I don't know what.
That was great, man.
I don't know what. I don't know what. Was it the contact? Was it the kid screaming? Because you fell out of your chair when the kid started screaming when he got run over by the car.
Yo, it's the reaction. It's sometimes the reaction. Like it's it's the reaction sometimes. Like first of all, it's you getting jacked up. That's man, woman, or child. I'm gonna laugh at that. You get jacked up, I'm laughing. I don't care. Everybody can get it. All right. You
Right.
get jacked up, I'm laughing. But when you got the reaction like that, like some people are like, oh, poor thing. I don't know this kid. I'm cracking up. I don't know this kid. If this kid mad at me for laughing, I'm sorry. But hey, listen, it's on the internet for all of us to enjoy, not to feel sorry for you.
Right.
It is what it is. So yes, part of it was the screen. Yeah, part of it was that for me. Yes, it was.
All right. Well,
Yes.
I got. Here's another one for you. So you know how
Hold on,
sometimes.
I'm sorry. Before you go, I just want to put these few comments in.
Okay.
You mentioned the U.S. soccer game. They're up 1-0 at the half. For those that don't know, that means they're up 1-0. Brian had said it's a great reference, Miggy. Um, something that you referenced earlier. And Marlon said, "What do you think the Sixers should do next?" I'm going to think about that for a little bit. I'm going to let Miguel introduce this video, and I'll give you my opinion what the Sixers should do next.
All right. I'll say that the Sixers should. John Harris should sell this franchise. All right. But in this video, we're gonna. You know how you see a clip in regular speed and then you do like the slow motion version. We're gonna do that backwards today. Um, but sticking with the same concept of children getting hurt, which is your favorite thing in the world. Um, we're
Oh
gonna.
man, don't say that.
I mean, proof's in the pudding. But here we go.
All right, here we go.
Give it a little bit more. Yeah, I have to. There you go. Nice. Go that way. Slow down. Let go. Let go. Yeah. You're okay.
Oh man, I couldn't even think about what the Sixers should do next. Oh man. All right. What should the Sixers do next? Get some solid bench help. Better bench help than Dominic Barlow. They need some experience coming off of that bench. They really, really do. They need a lot of experience coming off that bench. They don't have a whole lot of it. I mean, I know they just had Kyle Lowry, who was really basically a player coach, right? Um, they had Gordon that they traded him away, but they need some veterans on. They need some veterans on that bench to come off and really give you some serious like man like um I think of guys like J.R. Smith when he used to play for the Lakers and the Cavaliers. I'm thinking like guys like Iguodala coming off the bench for the Warriors at the time. Guys that really are going to be there to play that role to fill those minutes up. That's what the Sixers really need. Their bench to me was extremely weak last year. Um, so I don't know which video Tara might have been referencing here. This Tara from the 10-7 show. What's up? What's up,
Oh,
guys?
probably the video with the two guys on the motorcycle. That's
Probably,
probably.
probably. But I probably the comment can go with either one of them. Probably.
Right.
Um, but yeah, she said, Where is his mother? I don't know. I'm glad she wasn't around because we wouldn't have been able to enjoy that.
That's why he's wearing a helmet. Gotta
Because
toughen
mom's
these
not
kids.
around.
We gotta toughen these kids up. Damn it.
Brian said, "Do you realistically and not as a fan think the Phillies can make enough trades to compete with the Dodgers?"
No.
Hmm. You said no.
Well, not in this collective bargaining agreement because
Here is I realistically think the Dodgers are good, man. The
well,
Dodgers
because the Dodgers are set right now because they don't have to make any moves right now.
they don't have to make any moves. Right.
Because I mean, Edwin Diaz is technically their closer, but they don't need. They won the last two World Series without a closer. It was closer by committee, and now that they have somewhat of a legitimate closer, he doesn't even have to be a legitimate closer. Um, but it's definitely going to be hard to compete. But I think the Dodgers are the reason why we're probably going to have a lockout um,
Probably.
next year.
I
And
think they're
yeah, but
they'll be. Go ahead.
hmm? No, no,
You
no.
said
And I just don't. I don't think the. I don't. Other than I don't know that the Phillies have what would be needed in the trade without giving up some of the star pieces like a Bone, like a Stop. Um, I think you got to see what Painter can do before you can possibly get something from for him. Because he could either be the second coming of Roy Halladay, where the exact same thing happened to him. He went down to the minors, fixed it, and became a Hall of Fame pitcher, or he could become another Pat Combs, Robert Person. And if you don't know who those people are, exactly my point.
that's why. Um, and this might and he said realistically and not as a fan. This might be the fan in me talking. I'll be honest. This might be the fan in me talking. But I think the Phillies can compete with the Dodgers if their bets continue to work.
And that's always a tough thing about baseball because baseball is one of the only sports that kind of relies on how streaky you are. That's why it's like a team
Mhm.
can get in as like the last seed and then make a run and win it all.
Right.
Um, it's very baseball's very unique in that. I think hockey is a close second in that, like a team that's kind of
Mhm.
coming in. It was hot and streaky, whatever. But and that's been the Phillies. It's like some days, some weeks you have like the game that they beat the Pirates this past weekend 8-0. Um, most of them were like line drive hits, hitting runs, bunting. Like they're doing some of the fundamental things. They're getting back to the small ball stuff. And of course, you have Schwarber with the big bat. But if it's like when they all go cold at the same time. That's
Yeah,
that's that's
seems
that's the
that way.
big problem because I think we won another game. Like I think we won the one of the games against the Mets. We won 2-1.
Hmm.
Now I'm glad that it was Wheeler on the mound, and you have Wheeler to win those 1-0, 2-1 games. But outside of Wheeler and Sanchez, and even Luzardo can kind of tip his pitches every once in a while. After you get past the number 3 starter, you have to win those blowout games. But I don't think if we had somebody that was better than Nola, which I think they were anticipating Painter to be, then you would have had it. But because Nola is who we all thought he was, now we're kind of stuck.
That's the theme in Philadelphia. People are stuck with. Yeah, and if they're hitting the ball, they can compete with anybody. When they get into those cold streaks, they forget it. Again, I guess you could say that about anybody, but I really feel like this lineup in particular is really if they're hitting and they've been hitting well, they really haven't had a cold streak in a while, which makes me nervous because I don't know if they're due or if they're done with the cold streaks, but we shall see. Champion Maker says, here's the Sixers' best chance. Trade Embiid for winning role players and build around Brown, Maxey, and VJ. I promise you a team will take him for role players. I would agree with that. I would agree with that. But I always look at the full picture. Which team and which role players do you want? right? Are we going to get because you get the in basketball the salaries have to match. That's the problem. Like that's the real problem. The salaries have to match in basketball. So it's you're going to get like if it's like two role players, you probably get some decent ones. If you make it like four role players and like a second round draft pick, you're not really going to get a whole bunch, but you probably will get some veteran role players, but maybe some guys that may not been in a playoff rotation necessarily for some of your better teams. That's what I'm thinking. But after today, and they got Jaylen Brown for Paul George, I'm like, hey, you know what?
Anything is possible.
Anything is possible. What Kevin Garnett say? Anything is possible. Anything is possible. Yeah, I guess it could happen. It could happen. But you'll probably still be in need of a big because teams are getting taller, and that was the biggest weakness with the Sixers when Embiid was not in. Is teams would attack the paint, and this is a game that is outside shooters. Teams would attack the paint when Embiid was not in the game, and it would kill them. Is that it? Is that the whole show? Are we done?
No. There's a couple more things if you wanted to.
Oh my goodness! Oh goodness! You snuck that stuff in on me, man.
I told you about that. This is the thing that was supposed to be part of the show last week. We can move these two things to next week, and we can just go right to the last two things.
Yes, because there's somebody that wants to join the show to talk to us about the NCAA rules.
Okay.
So we'll probably actually save that for when we come back.
Okay.
From our break. I'm glad you explained it to me. I'm glad you explained that to me because I was just on the phone with somebody that wants to join us to talk about those rules.
Right, and this can kind of tie in.
Yes.
We can tie in the injury. So what we're talking about is there's a 5-for-5 rule approved by the NCAA, which pretty much eliminates like red shirts and stuff like that. We'll get into that when we come back in August, and then the injuries to young athletes being on the rise. We can tie that in as well.
Absolutely. Now, Miguel has introduced a new segment to the Check Swing podcast. Originally seen on the 10-7 show, of which airs on Sundays at 7:00 here on New Tools Radio, which you can also catch Miguel on in the comments. he keeps the comments rolling. But with that being said, I'm talking about everyone's favorite segment of the show, and that's the yes, it is the would you rather portion of the show. And this is just, we give you a scenario and say, would you rather have this or would you rather have that? So, Miguel, where are you taking us with the would you rather today?
Let's see. I'll give you a couple of categories. Would you rather do hypothetical combat scenarios or absurd dilemmas?
They both sound like fun. So let's do. What was the first one again? Hypothetical combat scenarios.
I'll tell you when my screen comes back up. Where the heck did it go?
Technical difficulties.
Technical.
I believe it was hypothetical combat scenarios, which sounds interesting. Like I'm more intrigued by that than like kind of like I'm just more intrigued to hear what comes from that. Like, is it like, you have no toes left on your left foot, but you got to keep making left turns to win? Are you going like? I'm interested in what you're going to end up saying. So I'm going to go with that one when you get your everything back together. And you at home or wherever you might be watching, y'all can join along with us too. Please join along with us as we're shutting the phone lines down now.
Okay. All right, so you said you want to do absurd dilemmas or hypothetical combat scenarios?
Hypothetical combat scenarios.
Okay. Would you rather play a full game of soccer against 11 professional players riding motorized unicycles, or defend a hockey goal against 50 aggressive Canadian geese?
I don't know, but either way, I'm winning. Either way, I'm winning both of those scenarios. Um, just okay. Like I said, I'm winning either one. But for the sake of this segment, I'm going to pick the geese because I don't want to get ran over by a motorcycle accidentally. And 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 if necessary, I'll just slap a goose. I'll just get
Right.
to it, back
I
here
would
right across the beak.
man, right. And I would lean definitely for the hockey goal because I don't like running, which is why I don't like soccer. So if I'm just defending a goal, I can be in the butterfly position or
And I don't think geese can really shoot hockey pucks, so I'm good.
touche, touche.
And I'll slap the mess out of it. I'll slap.
All right, let's do something. Let's see. Pick the category either game structure and timing or tech and officiating control.
T- t- was it time structure and time? What was it?
Game structure and timing.
Game structure and timing.
Okay. Would you rather shorten the Major League Baseball regular season to a mandatory 100 games to make every single series a must watch event, or keep the 162 game schedule but make every single game a 7 inning affair to radically protect pitching health?
So I think I've actually been on record as saying 9 innings is not necessary.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, 7 innings feels very kiddish. You know what I mean? And 9 innings is really what separates the men from the boys in a sense. But I've always felt like you've always said they would play way too many games, and I've agreed. And that would kind of make it more fun that every series counts for something.
Right.
Um, but I'm going with the 7 innings because I feel like for some people that might be more watchable, and it might be a little bit more of what they're used to. Like if they have a kid that plays baseball and they play 7 innings, I feel like you might get a little more viewership, a little more fanship. You get through. It does save arms because maybe really you only get through 3 innings with your starter and go to your bullpen, or maybe you get through 6 innings with your starter, go right to your closer. So yeah, give me the 7 innings, 162 games, but give me 7 innings, and it
Yeah,
makes and it makes it a little bit more like it makes it more of a sprint. Each game more of a sprint.
I like I like what they did when they first came back from COVID, where they did double headers at 7 inning games.
When they first came back from what you say?
When they came back from COVID, like full board, and then what they did was they made 7 inning games for double headers.
Or double headers, yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? I would lean. I'm actually going with the 100 games because I know they're talking about protecting pitching health, but I think pitching less games will give you greater health because you'll have more rest periods in the week because 162 games you can go sometimes 20, 25 days without a day off. Not that a pitcher's going to throw every day, but it's when you're in that routine and the travel and the stuff like that. But with 100 games, you can kind of spread out the days off, so you can if you're going from like Chicago to Miami to Texas, you can actually literally have a travel day and rest in between. So I think you have more rest periods in between. And I think if you take the example of football, which is only played once a week, and you have the Monday morning quarterback, and you're literally talking about what happened on Sunday all the way up until Monday, and then you still start talking about the next game until Thursday. It's like the perfect scenario. That's why football is so watchable and marketable. But I think the days off in between series would definitely help the game, and I think you save arms either way because you're actually pitching less games. So I lean towards the 100 game.
Let us know how you feel about it. What would you rather do? Brian has said for the last one, he said he would rather do soccer. He said geese don't fly.
Lord,
So I want to.
Sandman also.
So I had a gripe earlier about FIFA and soccer and the hydration thing.
Right.
I want to commend them on, and I'm a comment. I'm a casual fan, so maybe this has been something for a little bit. I don't know, but one of the first games I watched, there was like somebody that flopped, and the ref was able to review it, and the dude ended up flopping, so they reversed the call, and I think the guy got a yellow card.
Good. See
I
that
kind of
I
I
didn't know
love.
that I didn't know that they actually go back and check on it. So I think they picked that up
I
from you.
haven't seen it happen much. Like I only saw it happen the one time, but I also in that same game I think somebody flopped. They didn't call anything against the other guy. They didn't go back to review it or anything like that because there was no call. But the ref just went over to that, told him basically, get your ass up. Basically told him, get up, get off the ground, get out here and play. So, and the dude ended up getting up and started around. That was probably my biggest gripe with soccer was like, yo, these dudes spend half the time on the ground faking because when they don't get their call, you see them get up and just run right back into the thing. That's why I was enjoying women's soccer way more because they were not flopping as much, half as much as the men were. So thank you
Well,
for that, Brian.
nothing beats women's volleyball. I said it here first. All right. You want one more? Or you want to be stumped?
We can do one more real quick.
Let's see. Let's see. Embarrassing fan moments or
Come on now, you got Tara watching you, and she. Come on now, she
all
she
right,
she
all right.
knows that you said you got to have these ready.
I do have them ready. I do have them ready. There's just so many to choose from. Calm down. The chaos upgrades or embarrassing fan. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, embarrassing fan moments.
You said chaos upgrade. I don't even know what that is. So give me embarrassing fan moments.
So I was going to explain. Okay, embarrassing fan moment. So would you rather get caught on the stadium jumbotron with a giant wet spot on your crotch, or drop a catchable historic home run ball directly into your hot nacho cheese? Which really sounds dirty, but
I would probably rather. Give me the ball and the nacho cheese. Like
okay.
at least I have a souvenir from that one. Like you catch me with the wet spot of my pants. I don't get to explain that,
But you drop the ball in the cheese.
but I still have the ball.
Do you though? I mean, there's no. I mean, well, I guess directly
Well,
into your
first of
hot.
all, you said it's a home run ball, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, you're right. You're right. You're absolutely correct.
The home run
Yes.
ball. I'm on TV.
Mhm.
I'm on TV. I'm on ESPN. I'm probably seeing it all over yeah. Now, if you had said home run ball but the wet spot, I'm still picking the nacho cheese because they're going to see. Let's say you said you catch an amazing catch one handed, but you got a wet spot.
Yeah,
Everybody's going to see the catch, but then
and,
somebody on
and,
TikTok is going to see the wet spot and say, "What happened there, fella?"
right,
And then
and
then I'm
that's
TikTok famous.
and that's going to be like, especially if it's a historic home run, so it's going to be in the Hall of Fame with you like this with the P spot. Yeah, I got you.
And it's like, no, I spilled my soda, but you don't get to explain that. It's a picture.
Right.
So real quick, on the last, you can get the stumps ready. if you haven't already. Brian said, I don't like either option. He's talking about the second would you rather. Maybe less games. Do away with all the interleague games. They used to be special and exciting. Now they're just another game. I actually like the fact that the interleague games are just another game now
Why?
because it used, like he said, it used to be special and exciting, and it did. Now it's any other game. Now it's I don't know. It's like every other sport now to me, where like you get rid of the interleague games. Like I have an opportunity to see certain players now come into my stadium every other year. So I'm like, I like that. I like seeing them play other teams. I don't have to wonder anymore. What the Phillies played the Angels? What would that be like? What if the A's? What would it be like if the A's came to town? Or I'm gonna go check out the Phillies playing Kansas. Like it gives you more options as a fan. So I kind of like it from that standpoint. Um, that's probably my biggest reason.
I,
Um,
I I liked when they. I liked the way they originally did it.
okay, but like it
Um,
would be the NL East versus the AL East.
right, or it would be like World Series, like Phillies and the Red Sox, or Phillies and the Yankees. They face each other in the World Series at one point. And they used to do it where the interleague play didn't start till I believe after the All Star break.
I think you're right about that, or maybe
So
like right before or
right,
something. Like that. I think you're
there's
right.
like an anticipation. So maybe scale it back to that. You start interleague play
Well,
after
for
the All
me,
Star break.
I don't need the excitement for it anymore. I just want to see the teams. Like it was exciting because it just started. Even if they had it, if they still had it as like the old ways, it still wouldn't be as exciting because you would get used to it, just like we've gotten used to it. So now instead of like making it an event, now it's part of the schedule. Now you got to figure. Now baseball has to figure something else out to be special. They had that for a little while. It's really not special anymore. Now it's like Brian says, it's a regular game.
Right.
I'm okay with that from a fan standpoint. I'm okay with that because these
Gotcha.
are games. Like I would have loved to see Ken Griffey come to the vet, or Cal Ripken come to the vet back in the day, or even Jeter come to the vet and the vet. He didn't play in the vet days. Jeter come to Citizens Bank and it's not a World Series because I couldn't
Jeter
afford
did
it.
play. Jeter did play at the. I was there for the
Not my
first.
point. Not what I'm saying. I knew you were going to say because as soon as I said, I was like, he did play there. Brian also said nachos for sure. Less embarrassed even if you don't get the ball. Yeah, yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. All right, so now it's time for me to turn the chat off. Chat is turned off. And it is time for Miguel to stump me. Now, if you're new to the Check Swing podcast, this is the part of the show where Miguel has randomly just kind of selected a player that has some type of tie to Philadelphia in some way, shape, or form. Uh, I shouldn't say some way, shape, or form, but they played in Philadelphia at some point during their career, whether it be the whole career, a cup of coffee, or like had their whatever the case may be. I hope you got it. Whatever it was, I hope you got it. And he tries to get me to guess. He gives me some clue. He gives me some jerseys, that they wore throughout the years and whatever. But here we go. Like to see it. Here we go. This is how we work this. So, this person is a two-time All-Star, a two-time Gold Glover, and Wilson overall. What is that?
Wilson overall defensive players. I mean, he was at like the absolute best at his position.
And he started with the Phillies and then played for all these other teams later on.
Correct. Would you like the teams in order, sir?
Yes, please.
Philadelphia Phillies, Houston Astros, Atlanta Braves, Cleveland used to be Indians, Arizona Diamondbacks, and the Orioles of Baltimore. So Phillies, Astros, Braves, Indians, Diamondbacks, Orioles.
Can you give me the position?
Outfield.
Can you give me the time frame of the career?
06 to, I want to say 13, 14.
Damn, so he didn't play that long.
No. Yeah. It wasn't a long career. I want to say he played about 10 or 11 years, 12 years.
Were there any circumstances to this person's career ending? Was there a reason that the career wasn't that long?
I
I
mean,
guess that's a decent career, but
he had some soft tissue injuries like pulls and stuff, nothing major. That's the best I could think of.
outfield started with the Phillies, then went to the Astros, Padres, Phillies, Astros, Padres, Cubs.
I gave you the teams twice already. Phillies, Astros, Braves.
Phillies, Astros, Braves.
Phillies, Astros, Braves, Indians, Diamondbacks, Orioles.
And played the outfield.
Mhm.
Two-time All-Star. Was he an All-Star with the Phillies?
No.
Well, there you go. And I'm assuming wasn't a Gold Glove with the Phillies either.
Correct.
And what was the Wilson overall defensive player of the year?
Correct.
What was it? I have no idea. I'm trying to think who was number 9 with the Phillies back then. I'm trying to think. Like, why am I thinking like Chase Utley over and over again? I know it's not Chase Utley though, but I'm just thinking Chase Utley over and over again.
And there's
Can you give me the nationality?
Brown.
Oh man.
No, he was black. Or is black.
Outfield Phillies.
There's a couple of clues that I could give you that'll probably you might get. He was a. I don't know if I want to give you this. No.
Marlon Byrd. No, not Marlon Byrd. Ben Revere, not Ben Revere. Damn,
Ben Revere, jeez.
So
man. I don't know if this will help you.
It won't. But go ahead.
He was a switch hitter.
Oh. Damn, I feel like I can see, but the name is just completely escaping me. Would he have been memorable with the Phillies? A couple years before he won the World Series.
So he didn't do anything terribly memorable, but there was a lot of potential. He was growing into the role that he eventually would have, which would make him an all-star and a Gold Glove.
Man, I'm so mad I'm not going to get this one. Because I feel like I should know it.
One more guess. Come on, give me one more good guess, and before I start.
Did I even have a guess yet? I'm stuck on this one.
See, that's the problem. Like you throw out guesses, but I haven't been counting them. So
I'm kind of throwing out like eliminations. Like I'm having names come through my head, and I'm like, no, it can't be him, because it's not Marlon Byrd, it's not Ben Revere, it's not. Oh man, I'm trying to think. What was the second team again? Astros, right?
Mm-hmm.
Was he part of the trade for Hunter Pence?
Ooh, close, but no. He was part of a trade, but not for Hunter Pence.
He was part of a trade out of Philadelphia.
Correct.
Can you tell me who he was trade for?
I could.
Roy Oswald.
Damn, no.
That's a little later, ain't it?
It's a good one, but no, it wasn't.
100 pence wasn't Roy Oswald. Was it a major leaguer he was traded for?
Yes,
Wow.
a key cog.
Wow. That was part of the 08 team?
He was not part of the 08 team,
The
but
trade was not part of the 08 team.
the trade was part of the 08 team.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The trade was part of
Yes,
the
yes. Yeah.
So if I can think about who nah, you got me, man.
All right.
I mean we done been on here for a long time. You got me.
All right. Here we go.
I'm be so mad. I'm be so mad.
Michael Bourne.
Oh my God.
So
I forgot he played for the Phillies, man.
he was drafted by the Phillies. He was very
Yes, well, I forgot all. Oh man, yeah, I'm
very,
mad.
very, very, very fast switch hitter. Actually good contact. He was traded. He was involved in the trade for Brad Lidge and Eric Bruntlett.
He was part of that trade.
Mm-hmm. I think he was traded. So he was traded in 06 or before the 07 season. That's when we had Aaron Rowan in center field.
Mm-hmm.
And then Lidge in the bullpen, and Bruntlett was the utility. So that was
I'm so mad about that. I'm so mad about that. I forgot about Michael Bourne. Never realized he played for the D-backs. I mostly remember him playing for not just the Phillies, but for the Braves.
Cleveland. I remember him for Cleveland because I think Cleveland I think his last year in Atlanta,
Cleveland, right?
Yeah, his last year. So he went to after Houston, he went to Atlanta, then Cleveland, and those were the two teams that he really excelled with. But I think Cleveland is when he started getting those soft tissue injuries, the hamstring pulls, and stuff like that. So
wow, man, that was a good one. That was a good one. I forgot about Michael Bourne. I'm so mad about that. Kudos to you. It was a couple weeks in a row that I got it, but now you're back. You back, reclaimed your crown.
Dun, dun, dun.
I gotta get back on my my stumping you mission too.
You gotta do it on stumping me.
Yeah, I gotta get back on stumping you.
Okay.
Not really good at it, but I gotta get back to doing it. This Phillies game is still on. Oh my God, they're only up by 2 now. Well, look, the Phillies only up by 2, so guess what? I gotta catch the rest of the game just like you. So we're gonna get up out of here. We thank y'all for listening to us for almost 2 hours tonight. We had a lot to cover and a lot to talk about, and we just having some fun, and we enjoy being here and sharing it with y'all. But also, with that being said, we're going to get up out of here. Any last words, Miguel, before we get up out of here? There's a gnat in my face again.
One thing I got is remember, kids. Practice makes perfect, but a highly friendly whistle from the official in the fourth quarter helps too.
Yeah, sure. Can't argue with that. We're going to get up out of here. We appreciate y'all hanging with us here again on the Check Swing Podcast with myself and, of course, with Coach Miguel, who's down in
Baltimore, having big fun.
We'll catch y'all next week here on the Check Swing Podcast. We're going to give you the All-Star Game recap and all that good stuff from All-Star Weekend, and then we'll go on our little break. All right, so make sure you're here with us next week because you won't see us for a little while after next week. All right. That being said, peace out, y'all. We love y'all for loving us, and we'll talk to y'all next time on the Check Swing Podcast.
Until we meet again.